Week 5, experiment oily feathers. It's in number 60, Van Cleve's page 33. So we do have a great experiment that just demonstrates the effects that pollution and detergents have on birds. So we will have our water, a glass cup, some vegetable oil, powdered dishwashing detergent, and a spoon. So we're going to pour a cup of water into the glass. And then we're going to put a teaspoon of vegetable oil into the glass. Have the kids go ahead and look and see what's happening. As you can see the surface of the water, there are some pretty large circles of oil at the top. Then we're going to sprinkle the powdered dishwashing soap over the surface of the liquid. So it's 2 teaspoons of dishwashing detergent. So we're just going to go a little shy of a teaspoon shy of a tablespoon. We're just going to sprinkle. And then we're also going to gently stir the water to mix, but try not to produce any bubbles. So I'm just kind of what I would call folding the soap up. And then we're going to observe the surface of the water. And what I see is there are a lot of tiny bubbles of oil, but a lot of that oil has sank to the bottom with the soap. So what we're demonstrating with this experiment is how a detergent, a chemical, would affect a bird. If a bird would be doused in a chemical like a detergent, a lot of the oil on their feathers would be washed away, and then they would not be buoyant anymore. They would not be able to repel the water like the oil repels the water, and they would end up sinking. So just talking about how when we add chemicals into our environment, how it actually does affect our wildlife. So pretty interesting experiment. It definitely would be beneficial to have the kids jot down some information and some notes about what they learned in this experiment in their nature journal, and maybe draw pictures of how the soap looked and how the oil looked before and after we added the detergent. So if we can have a mom wash out this glass and for the next class, and then this should be plenty of water, so don't worry about filling that back up. But if a mom can just go ahead and rinse this out before returning to class so that the next class can do the experiment, that would be great. Thanks. All right, so cycle 1, week 5, the experiment is Tangled. So we're demonstrating one effect of plastic garbage pollution on sea animals. I know it's been in the news a lot with the straws, but we're going to do an experiment about how plastic bags would affect wildlife. So we're just using rubber bands. So we're going to hook one end of the rubber band around your little finger and then stretch the rubber band across the back of your hand and hook the free end on your thumb. Okay, so it's like that. Maybe like that. There we go. We're going to try and remove the rubber band without touching anything. So have the kids try and remove it without like touching a table or something. And talk about how is the garbage that's dumped into the ocean affecting sea organisms. Seals and fish do not have hands. How can they remove plastic rings from 6-packs of beverages if they get these around their bodies? And this is fairly impossible to do. Go ahead and try it at home, but they will not be able to get that off without help. So it talks about the why plastic items in garbage are deadly to sea animals. Turtles swallow floating plastic bags because they think that they're jellyfish. We've obviously all seen about straws, plastic straws. It talks about how their digestive tract becomes blocked and they die. Seals, fish, and other animals get plastic rings around their bodies and find them even more difficult to remove than your students will with a rubber band. These animals often die. It takes as long as 300 years for plastic garbage to decompose in seawater. So definitely a good reminder for the kids. Have them jot down some information in their nature journals and maybe make some pictures. Would be great. So Tangled, number 61 in Van Cleves, page 34.